You know what it is, it's your boy Snuff from Snuffo DVD, man. Next level radio show with Mr. Everyday, man. Past life, you know what it is, man. Snuff, man. Finna.
So what you trying to do, and who you really want to be? Everybody wants a shot to be the top in this industry. So what you trying to do, and who you really want to be? Everybody wants a shot to be the top in this industry. I follow me, never walk in another man's shoes. Fake we good when you know we ain't brothers. I set my goals, aim high. I'm shooting for the sky, and I'm never giving up or quitting till the day I die.
It's Snuffo Tarantino, Snuffo DVD, Snuffo DVD in the building, y'all.
Yeah.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about, like, you know, the early beginnings, man. Let's just get right in with the early beginnings.
The good old days.
Yeah, man. Let's just start. Like, where you born and raised?
You know, first things first, man. I'm a Troy native.
Facts.
518 Troy, New York. Zone 3, Zone 6. You know, if you're familiar with the area, you know what I mean? You know what it was like growing up. You know what it was like trying to grind in that era of them good old days before the digital platforms, the social medias, the days of hand-to-hand with the DVDs, the days of hand-to-hand with the CDs. You know, it was different back then, man, you know? And we still here, Mr. Everyday.
Yes, sir.
We still
yes, sir.
here.
So let's talk about, like, all the way early. We talking about, like, mom and dad. Like, what did your family do for a living? As far as, like, you know, in the upbringing of Snuffo, what was the family life like? What did moms and pops do for a living?
You know, God bless my father's soul. I came up in a good household, you know, before the street lights came on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My dad worked my father, he worked a construction job, took care of 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? Went to work every day, 5:30. Came home, 5:30, made sure supper was served to his kids. You know what I'm saying? Helped us. Like I said, it was the good old days, man, before a lot of, you know, shit got watered down and people lost respect for the family household.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The leadership of the household. You know, my father took care of us. My mother loved us. You know, my mother still loves us. We love my mother. You know, we're family orientated. You know. Now,
you know, you had some like, moms had some medical issues and things early on too, right?
Yeah, she had a stroke. So
how did that affect you, like, growing up, like, dealing with now your mom's got a stroke? Because, you know, moms is like the backbone.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to boys, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though, like, the father figure is absolutely important, but, you know, we all gravitate when we young like that to moms.
Yeah.
So now your mom's has a stroke. How's that affecting you at your age, at a young age? How old was you about that time?
I was 14. Okay. So, you know,
that's a pivotal moment.
And my mother, she was like where I get my personality from, my enthusiasm. You know what I mean? So she was like out there, hey, what's up? How you doing? This is my baby. This is him. You know what I'm saying? Repping her kid, proud of me. Right. You know what I mean? She always knew I was gonna be something. You know what I mean? So,
she should.
When the stroke happened, you know, it hit close because like I said, she was the backbone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so,
sir.
But at the same time, it also gave me motivation because she didn't let that shit stop her.
Okay, watch your Frenches.
Sorry, you know what I'm saying? She didn't let that stuff stop her.
The
ish. She didn't let the ish stop her. And you know, I seen how much she was carried on and tried to continue to be the mother that she was before the unfortunate event happened. You know,
so now, where was your father at this time during this? Was he still in the picture, or was he, you know, was Pop still in the picture?
Nah, my pops wasn't in the picture, but he still stuck around to help. You know what I'm saying?
Now I know, like, you know, cause how many siblings did you have?
I got an older brother. He's got a son that's older.
Okay.
And then he's got 3 kids by my mother, which is my other brother and my sister.
So like four siblings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I know, like, with the moms in the situation, you know, how did that affect you with school? Like, were you able to continue to focus on school? Because I can only imagine, like, that could derail you educationally. Like, because now it's like your values, you're trying to redefine your values in life. There's no father figure. Like, how did that affect you with school? What was the situation with that?
It kind of affected me by pushing me towards the streets, you know, because, like I said, I was her trophy baby. So I had all the gear when I went to school. You know what I mean? I always had that leadership vibe. You know what I mean? So once that happened, it was like, all right, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? School's coming up. How are you gonna get your school clothes?
Right.
You know, so I had to learn to mingle with certain characters, certain individuals in the streets, and I got tied in with the streets. Then that's when I learned how to hustle.
Now, were you able to finish school considering that type of climate you was in like that?
Nah, I didn't finish school. Honestly, between me and you and everybody listening, I am a dropout, but I did follow up and get my GED later on.
Congratulations,
so
bro.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
absolutely.
And I learned how to transform that hustle into, you know,
because that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, what did you feel were the positives and negatives of dropping out of school so young?
The positive of it was,
Or if there was any positives.
I mean,
Because sometimes that could be what fuels you to even be greater. Because some of the biggest millionaires in this country have no college education whatsoever.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's just like if they got a high school diploma, that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that education is not just defined in a school. You know what I mean? With this education is the world. Like you can educate. There's some people that are way more self-educated than any school could have ever taught them. Have read more books. Have read better books, more knowledge that's applicable to their field that they're in. So you know, there's no shade on that because there's many people that dropped out. But in your eyes, what do you feel were the positives and also the negatives of dropping out so young?
The positives of it was me finding my own strength and learning how to really survive with what I know how to do, and you know, learn the traits of the game so soon to apply them in certain areas that would help in my lifestyle of not being in school with, you know, positive figures to steer me in the right direction. Absolutely. I had to take what I did learn in school and from my father and my mother and kind of mix that in with the rules of the streets. So
now what would you say was the negative aspect of being on the flip side of that?
I lost time with, you know, certain memorabilia stuff that I could have been proud of later on. You know, like school spirit, school sports, school activities, and basically keep in contact with certain individuals that I learned to be friends with, you know. And
I'm glad you really said that, man, because that's a key component to school. Because one of the things about school, because I was having this conversation with somebody about college and about the value of college not necessarily always being about a degree, because a lot of people come out of college and they're not prepared for life.
Right.
But what college does do for you, because I am a college graduate, and what it did for me was network. It gave me a network, a endless network, because there's always a graduate coming out of that institution. You know what I mean? And also it gives you're able to tap back in. Like I've been like one of my interns, she's not here today, Lexi, but she's from my alma mater. And I was able to have somebody now come and do an internship program with me because of the fact that I went to the school. So it's now giving me workforce. So it's still paying dividends. So it ain't the fact that it taught me, that degree taught me how to come out here and do it. It gave me a vast network that continues to pay dividends and resources that I keep tapping into. So really, that's one of the things that you touched on, was like, it took, not going to school took away certain like highlight moments in your life, what it felt like to graduate or cross that stage, what it felt like to maybe be a part of some social club. Like you could have been a part of the radio club, which could have sparked a whole nother career for you early on, and then met other people and connections and network, and so that's a much more even important facet of it, is just community, the community that you were disconnected from at that time, and now you're limited because now you're in the streets, and now you're dealing with a thought process that is not necessarily positive. So that's definitely the negative. Now let's talk about, like, when you started getting into the entertainment business, you had a meeting with somebody out here as well. So I think 5 Footer. That's when you met. Let's talk about that, because I believe you met him. What year was it about the time you met Five?
I met 5 Footer, I say around 05, 06, right before the peak of me doing what I was started to do.
And how did you get introduced? Like, when did the decision get made? Because for the whole time I've ever known you, you and a camera has been synonymous. You know? What made you decide? Because usually, like, at that time, everybody wants to be in front of the camera. Everybody wants to have a microphone. Everybody want to be seen. Like, what made you, first of all, decide to do that? But what allowed you to be so humble to even do that? Because that's a humble stance
Yeah.
to say I'm going to document the culture, and sometimes that means I'm not be in the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
behind the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, how did that come about that you made that transition?
Like I said, I always been a positive influencer around the people that I'm around. And around that time, I think I was about 16, 17, and I was into, around that time it was MySpace. So, you know, a lot of kids was learning how to do graphic designs, a lot of tech stuff. And we was at the boys club, and I used to always carry my camera, like you said. I used to do backflips in the gym, upload it to my MySpace, get everybody wowed
Get
up,
everybody hype.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, before I met 5 Footer, the culture was here, but it wasn't broadcasted on certain levels that it needed to be.
Right.
It was like, all right, we got a team in the studio, but we got 1 million songs with 1 million notebooks.
Right.
What are we doing with
Right.
them?
Like no one was as it wasn't as aware.
Right.
Like, people were just in little pockets doing things.
Right. You know what I mean? So I was more aware of that in the area. So when I met 5 Footer, I had to sit down. He came up to me like, yo, you cool. You a cool dude. I'm like, yo, you cool too. You know what I mean? He like, what's your name? I'm like, Snuff. He like, you should start Snuffo DVD. Well, Snuff DVD.
So where did Snuff come from? Not to cut that flow off, but where did
it
where
came
did
from
the
my
name-
mom's, man.
Okay.
She used to call, it was a nickname. She used to
Okay.
call me Snuffy.
Okay.
So, couple friends in the area heard it, used to make it fun of me, so they dropped the Y and was
Snuff
like, you
is-
know what, we just gonna call you Snuff,
Snuff.
bro. And then it was from there.
And then Fire put the Snuffo DVD on it.
No, I had to. Later on, I put the O on it because after I met 5 Footer and got the idea, 5 Footer actually showed me the industry of the NYC culture.
Yes.
Around the digital platform.
Right.
5 Footer already had videos in.
Because it was like Sub-Zero and all that was going on.
Frankie
Yep,
Cutlass,
yep.
he was already in tune with the
Yes.
Puerto Rican Day Parade,
Yes.
the Puerto Rico, I seen all that footage, so I was kind of like flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And then like up here, we was more familiar with like D Block and Mobb Deep, but we wasn't familiar with like Dipset. We was familiar with Cam. You know what I mean? So the mixtape Cam, Come Home With Me, all the old stuff. So he basically introduced me to the social media platform of the culture of NYC.
Yes.
So in that time, he's like, yo, this is Jim Jones. You know what I mean? He just did the records. You should start your DVD. Try to reach out with them. Do that up here. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm going to do that. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't know is it took me the time to invest into myself to show up at somebody's house with a VCR camera.
Right.
So
right.
I would be like, yo, Day, I was down here on this block. I got a new rapper. We gonna get this lit.
Right.
And you like, oh, word? All right, pull up. Now I got the audio jacks.
Right.
Yo, let me see. You got a VCR?
Right.
Yeah, let me see your VCR.
Yeah. It was a whole different type of thing. Everything is much more compact and sleek and easy, and press one button that does 7 things for you at once.
Yeah.
We had to do every single thing for
Right.
anything we wanted to do back then.
So then I ran across, that's when I learned how to get my networking up. All right, now there's a bigger world out there.
Right.
Now I'm in tune with MySpace, reaching out. Now I'm in tune with music. Oh, I like this. Okay. Oh, he's from Albany. I like that. Okay, he's from such and such. I like that. So it kind of like gave me a little inspiration on putting Troy on. So after a while, I was going around with the camcorder. I got tired of being, how do I upload this to this? Let me do my research. Oh, Empire State Records. Shout out to Jay Green, Rated R, DJ Rookie, Lavish, Hood Gentlemen's. So then I linked with Jay Green, and then that's when I learned how to, edit. I learned how to edit and upload it, learn software, graphics to go with it, credits. So now I'm learning how to build the platform. So as I'm building the platform, I'm still being in tune with 5 Footer.
Right.
Yo, 5 Footer, my cousin's hosting a house party. Come through. Alright. Now we mixing. So we're starting in the boiler room.
Right, basically.
Right?
Basically,
We're starting in the boiler room now. So now we're working our way up.
Mm-hmm.
They see the house party footage. Yo, Snuffo, come to the club. That's when I ran across Angela Rollins.
Yes.
Unladylike
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Angela Rollins,
Now
yeah.
this had to be, I think, 2006, 2007.
Did she have Tilly's already
She
going
had
on there?
Tilly's.
Yep.
Now that's when my cousin Joaquin Chapman,
Right.
Chap, he got in tune with that area. So I got the call on MySpace. Well, I got the hit up on MySpace. Yo, Snuffo, come up here. We want to put you on the radio, but they don't want to keep promoting you as Snuff DVD.
Right.
It's too explicit.
Right.
Well, okay. Add a O.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
once I got in tune with up there, I was throwing footage around every week. Everybody's from Troy. Let's go up there. All right. Unladylike hits me up.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I got Little Flip coming up. Okay, cool. This is my big break.
Right.
I've been waiting for an artist.
Right.
You know? So the place is dead. I walk up to him. He's still performing. I give him that. He still
Right.
performed. And he seen that I
I think I remember when he came up here.
he seen I was a grinder.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and he was with Gutta
Yeah.
from Young Money.
Right.
And I went up to him. I'm like, yo, let me get a drop. As he's performing, I'm still recording. I'm showing him love.
Right.
So he gave me a drop, and then from there, Sneaky Pete's. You know, we could get into
Legendary.
history.
Legend.
So,
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's
you
talk
know
about
what I
it.
mean? That's
Let's
when
talk
we
about
got
it.
into Sneaky Pete's. And but before we got to Sneaky Pete's, Tilly's was still lit. Now, Jay Green was the DJ. I was the cameraman. My cousin was the promoter. And we had the whole squad going up from Troy. You know? So there was no conflicts. It was all love.
Right.
All night.
Right.
Snuffo, get me on camera. I catch somebody doing something wild out. I'm getting it on camera. Editing. And then they're like, yo, Snuff, you ever been to Sneaky Pete's? I'm like, nah. Now I'm just getting my feet wet.
Right.
But I like it. You know, I like this was before a bag.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For the straight love.
This
like
was
you just strictly about the love at this point.
This was all love. This was me spending bread to be around. You know what I mean? So they're like, yo, let's go to Sneaky Pete's. Now, Sneaky Pete's was a whole different type of crowd. This had hustlers, promoters, ballers,
Sneaky's was the
owners.
real deal.
You might
could
have
get NFL football players in there. You
Exactly.
could get like major hip hop artists, like people
Exactly.
just chilling out on any given night up in there when on a primetime night.
You had to have that certain to get in where you
That's a
fit in. You really had to have that weight behind
That's a fact.
your platform. So
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
I kind of ambushed. I kind of ambushed my way in there because, like I said, I was young.
Right.
I was like 18. I was a partier, you know. So once I got heaved to that, now I'm seeing Swiss Beats. Now I'm seeing these flyers. Oh, they're coming up here. They're coming up here. Oh, you're doing the DVDs. Get them on the DVDs, Snuff. Say no more. Who's in charge of this? Who's these promoters? Lamel Hubbard.
Yeah.
DJ Loco. A few
Yeah.
people who was valid out here.
Hubbard had it going.
Hubbard had
it going.
Hubbard had
Yeah.
it going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hubbard had me over here in New Albany pushing flyers out the trunk. Those was
Matter
the
of fact, I
flyer
think the
days.
first time I came up was behind Hubbard because back when I was managing Black Rob when I was with Bad Boy,
Yup.
and he brought us up for that.
Yup.
And that was my first time ever really being in Sneakies, and I was like, damn, this place is on
Yo,
fire.
it's fire.
Woo.
I'm getting chills.
Right, just
thinking
you got
about
like
it, bro.
my pupils is dilating right now.
Yeah, like, I'm going back. I'm
Right,
walking
yeah,
through
no, I'm
again.
seeing it. Yo, I got a smile on my face like I'm 12 right now on Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So once everybody basically see me in Sneaky Pete's, I had they wasn't letting me in with my camera because I had the big
You got
high-
the big OD.
high 8mm tapes
Right.
that you had to put into it because a camcorder.
You looking like you coming there with a rifle or something.
You know what I
right?
mean?
Bazooka.
And the only person that was doing that was Hollywood Hustle.
Right.
Trigger. Shout out to him. And they were very strict because they already had their way of how they handling things. So I had to get close to the next best thing.
Talk about it.
Lamel, you know. So like I said, I had already had something going on for Troy. So I had something that a lot of promoters needed from Troy. It was the visual outlet. Nobody was doing any
nobody had that.
outlets
It wasn't nobody.
Anywhere.
It wasn't nobody.
You know, like you said, there were certain events that we was a part of that nobody would ever.
We didn't have to, like, you'll never be able to see that because it wasn't captured. Like now, how they got the cell phones capturing everything. Moving. Yeah, there was a lot of things that's just in our minds. Like you had to have lived it and had to have been there, or you don't, or you can't really tell it. Yeah, that's a fact.
So as I'm rubbing shoulders with these stars now, who are coming up, I'm starting to get love from other, you know, people from different areas. People tuning in, learning what I'm doing. So now I'm getting calls. Yo, show up. Show up to my party. Show up to Kingston. Show up down here. Show up over there. Yo, show up to my block. I want you to shoot my freestyle. Okay, well, I'm doing this with the artists, the celebrities. Let me mix y'all. Once I started mixing them, it was to the moon.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I could say, like, there was never a Snuffo party that was not turned out.
That wasn't turned out.
Like, that was the highlight, like, and you had a lot of, and it didn't matter, like, how many times you did an event.
Yeah.
It was always max on max.
Maxed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah. Fam is on it. Fam is on it.
That was me, you know. I took what I learned from the Young Hustle days and applied that to what I was doing with the camera and the formulas.
So you mentioned some celebrities like Jim Jones, so do you have any experiences like with like Jim Jones or like talk to me about that? What was that like, that whole interaction?
All right, now you remember Sneakies was very hard to get in.
Yes.
It was hard to get close to these people.
Yes.
So by the time I met Jim Jones, I already had a whole catalog of artists. I had Beanie Man, Waka Flocka, Sean Paul, every reggae artist that came up here. Elephant Man. Who else? A few different names. So when I met Jim Jones on a few moments, but there was always this thing about him, this arrogant thing.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So
I know what you mean.
The first time that I met him, it was like on a pass by, you know, and then the second time, this was me working my way in. Now I'm learning you got 50 people around you and you're coming from this stage to this little hallway to your van to leave. So if I pay security $100 to get past and I don't get that drop within that window, that was a failed opportunity. Yes. So I had to think of how to really get closer.
Yes.
So one security wasn't doing it. All right, yo, Vince, what up, Vince? Get me closer. All right, cool. Staying right here. Empty room, about as big as this. You had to get through this room to go outside to get into your transportation to leave.
Right.
I caught him off guard. I'm in.
Because you was probably using the dolo.
Yeah, yo, I was by myself.
You thought you was the opposite.
So I'm standing there like this. So I'm like, yo, Jimmy, what up? He's like, oh, you got your camera on?
Right.
You lucky I'm feeling you lucky I'm feeling good. Called himself.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, what up? Locked and loaded.
Yeah,
what up?
Let's go.
But it was more or less, after I met him, he didn't make me want to chase him. Because the stories was adding up.
Right.
Around that time. Yo, you get Jim, bro, he gonna be you know what I mean?
Right.
He's not gonna be that type of guy.
Right.
He's arrogant.
Receptive. He's not gonna be receptive.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
the love is not gonna be there genuinely.
So as I'm doing that, I always look at the footage. I always say, there's this girl in back of the footage. Oh, that's Snuffo. So even if I didn't get the drop, there was somebody there in his circle that mentioned it.
Right.
Even if he would have said, yo, You see little bro with the camera, caught me off guard. Yo,
Right.
who was that? Yo, they gotta stop letting cameramen through.
Right.
That was me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, whatever it is, worst case,
Right.
that's how that played out.
So, and you also had some brothers with Fred the Godson as well, right?
Fred the Godson.
Talk to me about that. Fred is a cool, like that. His soul, bro, is missed more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
He was a genuine good dude.
Super genuine.
He came up here. Shout out to 5 Footer Limitless Records when we had Limitless at the time. Fred the Godson came up here to do a memorial tribute for my good friend of mine, Bandana Bugs. It was Bandana Bugs tribute, and it was my birthday, so he came up here. We had a few hosts. We had Mr. Commodore. It ain't nothing to go back. The one who hosted the HOC battles. We had him host. We had Karma Lee, a model, a viral model, and then we had Fred the Godson perform. And after that, he was like, he was more, like you said, receptive of what 5 was doing, of the area, and at the time, you know, so he was appreciating the opportunity to be in a situation where he knew the scene was burgeoning, where it was growing. So 5 call him, yeah, 5, I'll come up. Came through, showed some love. After that, every time me and 5 go to the city, yo, 5, what up? Where you at? You out here? Yeah, I'll be over there in a minute. Show us love. You know what I mean? He'll have a show in Connecticut. You can see the footage on Snuffo DVD on YouTube. Throwback. A lot of heavy hitters was there. God bless his soul. Chinks Drugs was there. Jada was there. Big Fendi was there. Fab was there. Fred the Godson was there. I think, what was his, TBE? They had TBE. And he showed love, man. It was in a Coliseum. And he basically let us in, get the Fred the Godson treatment, show us love all the way up to where, alright, I'm about to go on. We behind the curtain, the stage, you know.
Like you part of the entourage, like you right there. If this was like the era now, the cell phone era, you would have had all the footage and everything.
But you know me, I'm Snuffo.
So you still got to.
I'm going out there.
Right.
I got one song, you know. It was cool, man. He's a good dude, man. God bless, man.
So, I know we had talked about some things in terms of like opportunities and capturing opportunities, but there was one situation with Waka Flocka in Troy. Now I want to hear this story because like you almost missed that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me about how that happened.
I was in Troy,
okay,
where he was at. He was at Crossgates.
Right.
I guess he got a book out. He was up here for a book signing.
Okay.
And like I said, I was in. You call me, I'm there. If the opportunity will help the brand and what we're doing, I'm there. So they're like, yo, he's at the mall. Okay. He was wrapping it up. So, but at the same time, he sees me maneuvering through the crowd, getting photos.
Right.
Getting closer. So he already knew that I was there to work.
Yeah, right.
So there was a signing. He was doing a signing and he was ready to leave. I met his brother, Woo. Shout out to Woo from Brick Squad Mafia. And he gave me a drop while he was doing the book signing. So he's basically like, yo, bro, we got the bus out back. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he I think he had a show at SPAC later that day. And he was coming out the parking lot and I'm just waiting for him. Humble dude. Yo, what you got? You need a drop or something? Yeah, bro. Alright, what's good? Snuffo DVD. Short and sweet. Said what he said, got on the bus, kept it moving.
You know the power of that cameraman.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It'll really get you a lot of places. Yeah. It's almost like an instant credibility in certain situations. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know, and it's a testament to, like, you know, because there's some really great stories that you're telling, you know what I mean? And also legendary people, you know what I mean, up for the culture. You know what I mean? But it just, like, a lot of times people don't understand, like, that there's more than one position that you could play in the entertainment business. And sometimes if you pick up the camera, you actually will have a longer career in the game than if you're just trying to be this rap artist, trying to compete with everybody in an oversaturated market. Because the one thing about filming is you can stylize and put your own signature in things in a way that, you know, even with rap, like, there's only but so many ways you can do things. Right. You're not really reinventing the wheel. Right. You might think you are, but you're really not. Right. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like the cameras and the styles and even the evolution of software, you really can put your own unique spin or your own unique vision on stuff. And so, you know, at that time period, you were one of the early content creators, let's just say, like even before the platforms. Yeah. You know? Yep. So that's fly. And so there's countless stories here. You met Slim from Cash Money as well? Yeah, I met him on the way out of Universal Records down in Manhattan. Shout out to D Mugga. We went to New York City to print up 1,000 copies of CDs or something like that, and we was just posted out there, and I'm like, yo, somebody's gonna come. I'm not leaving down here without getting a drop. Every time I come down here, I get a drop. This is where? What was this? This was at the Universal Records building. Okay. This was the big building, and I guess Cash Money had a label in there. There was about 700 labels in there. Yeah. I remember at that time period, because I think I want to say didn't Murder Inc. have their label in there as well? There was a lot. There was Irv and Murder Inc. had. There was a lot of independent. That's back when they was handing out deals like. Yeah. I miss those days. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of great art, because see, nowadays these execs don't really know who to sign, who to point on. They don't have their ear to the street. But they were smart back then, because what they was doing is they were signing the tastemaker, and then the tastemaker would say, okay, I know what's what. I know. And I think we kind of got away from that. Yeah. We got away from that. The real tastemakers are not making decisions right now. You know? And they're recycling a lot of stuff. Right. Even the A&Rs. You got these A&Rs that are scared. They're scared. They're scared they're going to lose their job if they sign. So they just go, you know what, let's just do a Lil Wayne remix. Let's sign like Lil Wayne for another 10th deal before we actually break new artists and break a new movement, and not just even artists. There's whole companies with talent, one after the other, whole rosters that are not getting out, which is now has forced the hand of independence. Yeah, facts. Now it's just like I don't even know really who's really looking for a deal really anymore. Like I think nowadays, like you just really can create your own deal. Just about. You know what I mean? Just about. Like what does a record deal even mean anymore? What does that really mean? Yeah, you're right. You're right. What it means is you're going to get picked by a whole room of kids, right? Who are thinking you're it. That's behind. But scenes. I mean, but as far as signing a traditional record deal, oh man, I don't even think like what does that really mean, because you're not physically producing anything. Like we needed record deals before because we needed to be able to press up 1 million CDs and get them worldwide, and then use someone's distribution channels. But now that we've gone digital, and you can really upload your own music, you can shoot your own videos. You don't even need the budgets, and the quality level is so much higher now than it was even then. Like a $10,000 video now, we shooting a $10,000 video right in second. Like you know, right this minute. Like you know what I mean? I'll pull my phone out and get a 4K video and it's blowing out any quality from the 80s, 90s, 2000 with somebody you might have dropped the $50,000 bag to produce. Yeah. You know, a 2-location video set. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, the game has significantly changed. And so like what I want to say for you is like, but before I even get that far, I want to talk about you did a DVD called 31 Days of Flooding and 31 Days on FB. Like, talk about that. What was that like, trying to do that? Okay, so basically 31 Days of Flooding was me crossing over from MySpace to Facebook. Because a lot of people were growing, and they were, like I said, I feel like the culture grew with me. You know, I started off young in certain areas, and it grew. You know, it progressed. So I went from MySpace to Facebook. Yes. So as I'm doing the DVDs, I kind of fell back. I always fall back. Bump, you know this. I always tell Bump. I always say, yo, Bump, I could take 6 months. Facts. Come back and kill him. Just because we were even just talking about that in the park. Yeah. About how like it's time for you to reload. Yeah. It's time, and because the history is there. Yeah. The credibility is there. Yeah. So really, at any point in time, you could set up launch again. I could always. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was trying to make people the believers. I'm new to Facebook. Right. My ex-girlfriend, she went to New School Radio Television. Yeah. So I kind of got a hands on cameras, white balance. White balance. Yeah. So
this was a whole new world.
Yeah.
So now I'm meeting people on Facebook who are in college.
Right.
Shout out to King Staff.
Right, because Facebook was originally started for college people only.
Right.
It wasn't everybody else.
It was when they used to do the U Albany parties.
Yes.
King Staff was
Yep.
a major promoter.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but I was transitioning, learning how to network, and okay, let me learn my pitch. Now, Sneaky Pete's is closed.
Yeah.
So now I have to find a niche of staying in the loop with the ground, the people on the ground. You know what I mean? Not so much of, yo, share this, yo, share this, yo, share this. Nah, I got to figure out how I can develop the same relationship as I would with them.
Right.
With coming out the trunk. So with that being said, I'm a grinder. I'm a flood everything. Oh, how you gonna do that, Snuff? I'm gonna start a DVD, 31 Days of Flooding. Oh, you rap, you're on Facebook? Whoever's on Facebook, send them to me. So now, everybody's trying to find me on MySpace, so now they're looking for me on Facebook now.
Right.
So everybody's Altez, B-Way. Now I'm learning Albany, Bogies, what was it across the street from Mary Jane Books, when they had Mary Jane Books.
Oh man, Bump, you got that one?
No, it was on Madison. It was a college spot. So now I'm in tune with the college, but I'm also in tune with the rappers.
Right.
So I'm putting the rappers first, but I'm coming over here to party.
Right.
You know, getting in tune with everybody. So, yo, who's a rapper? I'm flooding. Oh, what's that mean? You rap? I want to do 31 days. I'll show y'all how to grind in 31 days, and I'll drop a DVD at the end of the day. I'll use Facebook as the platform. Everybody started hitting me up. Yo, I just looked you up. Now they're looking at Jada,
Right.
Styles,
Right.
Jimmy,
Right.
Uncle Murda, all these names. So now they're like, oh, he's lit. All right, yeah, I'm lit. Pull up. I'll get you lit. But at the same time, I am catching stars to help build their platform,
Oh,
you know, to
yeah.
throw on a DVD.
Right.
Because I had this rule.
Right.
I will not drop a DVD without having,
A primary star on it.
you see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So that was my main
Yeah,
goal.
yeah.
So, and that's going to be the goal for this DVD.
Right, I heard it.
So we'll figure that
Yes.
out. I might
Yes.
have one in the cut already.
Right, so
Right.
already
You know what I mean? So
joint back out. Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So
Cause that's another thing. Like certain footage is timeless. Like certain interviews are timeless.
but
You know.
what a lot of people don't know is what I told Bump the other day is what's taking me so long on this DVD is it's hard to create the content of from beginning to end.
Right.
It's because I have to hold your attention for an hour.
Yeah.
An hour and some change.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want you to turn it off.
Right.
You know?
You have to have engaging characters, engaging content.
Oh, let me-
The scenes gotta be like where they're at, the locations.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
that eye candy
Right.
pop. They gotta pop.
So I kind of played the smack look. Pull up to my block. Start networking. You guys are not networking.
Right.
I killed MySpace. I killed counties. I killed Tilly's. I killed Kingston. I killed North Carolina. I killed NYC. Like, let's do this. Let me
Right.
show y'all how to flood.
Right.
So, first person, Mel Peasy, Team Goonie, Schenectady. I shopped everybody. Had somebody from Schenectady come over. How many people you know from Schenectady would come to Troy and chill on a block
Right.
and rap
Right.
on one of the hottest blocks in the city, 9th Street,
Yeah, you know.
right?
Yeah.
But it was, yo, you're good. Everybody, they respect what I
Right.
do.
Right.
So
Right.
everybody took wind of that. Oh, it works. Oh, yo, Snuff, I'm coming over.
Right.
Yo, so I did that. Shout out to everybody that was on that DVD. Shout out to everybody that was a part of it. Shout out to everybody that bought it. You know, at the end of that DVD, yo, every day. At the end of that DVD, the 31 days, Hurricane Irene flooded everything.
Wow.
I'm getting phone calls. Yo, Snuffo, you really made it flood. You made it flood out here. Yo, how
Talk
you do
about it. Talk about
I
it.
said, yeah, this is
Talk
the flood.
talk
you know,
about
so
it.
when the flood hits,
Talk
you know,
about energy, bringing that energy.
You know,
like,
the person that's gonna try to help the people. You know what I mean? This is the flood. So That's when I developed the shark. Oh, I'm in the flood. I'm a shark. I'll be a shark in a flood.
Right.
Sharks don't stop. Floods don't stop.
Right.
So I'm gonna take this. Now this is gonna be the marketing scheme for the DVD. DVD dropped. I edited it in 2 days.
Facts.
I edited a whole
Facts.
DVD in 2 days.
Quick.
Locked in.
Facts.
Now I've done that a lot. I got series of DVDs. There's about 4.
How many would you say you think you have? Like,
I'd say about 13 altogether.
Official 13 official DVDs. Yeah.
All an hour long or more. You know. And
Now, what format do you have them on?
shit. We was
How to cut that?
I didn't say
yourself, right?
Yeah,
I caught it.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I caught
okay, it. Go ahead.
The DVD format that I was pushing through was around that time. The first couple DVDs, like I said, the software production really wasn't around here that people were.
So what is it? So it's on a DVD. Like, do you have anything that's still on VHS as well?
Actually, what do you guys?
Oh no, it's DVD.
Okay, it's all DVDs. Okay,
it's
so you still
all
have
on
them on DVDs.
Yup.
Okay.
It's all on DVD. I got old high 8mm tapes.
We got to talk about something because I signed a new deal with Sony right now for distribution for music and films. So we could potentially re-release and everything.
That'd be dope.
And do a major campaign through the launch party for it and everything. We got to talk. We'll talk about that.
That'd be cool.
We'll talk about that.
So after the flood hit, yo Snuffo, you made a flood. Yeah, I got DVDs too. It's done.
Right.
I went out.
Yeah, during the flood.
I went out during the flood. Couldn't get through nowhere.
Uh,
But I'm out there with 100 DVDs, 200 DVDs, 300 DVDs. Within the 2-week mark, I sold over 800 DVDs, hand to hand. Some of them with no covers.
No cover.
he said with no covers.
You know what I mean?
I saw
They're
my
just
Yeah, because people just wanted that. They just wanted that.
wanted
We don't need the artwork. Just give us the
wanted
roll.
it.
Let's put that right in. We gonna roll up. We good. We good. Hour long too.
Hour long.
That's lit. That's lit.
And 31 days of flooding.
So I'm gonna take this whole situation in a different direction.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk some real talk and get to the core of who you are as a human being. Who do you aspire to be like?
Well, I do a lot of research and I do a lot of studying. I haven't found the potential in myself yet. So I would really like to be myself.
I like that answer.
Because my thoughts tell me I could be better than anybody that influences me. But, self-love is the most important. So
absolutely. Because I was going to ask you, like, where do you find your inspiration? Like,
honestly, I find it in myself. I open the doors for these energies myself, I like the energy, and like I said, I do a lot of research from a lot of scholars. I read a lot of books. So I apply these exercises in my life and with my grinds. So the person that I want to be is who inspires me. You know what I mean? So
facts.
I mean, I can't really say I want to try to do what everybody's doing because I know if I'm on the level of they're doing, I could probably do better.
Right.
So
what would you say gets you excited about life?
Right now, first and foremost, my daughter. Shout out to Nyla. Just the satisfaction of me being able to help. If I'm a Taurus, so
my pops and my mother, rest in peace, my pops.
Rest in peace.
Taurus has always been very influential people and stand-up people in my life.
So that's kind of like, it's kind of like genetic. So can't really.
How would you define success? What does success mean to you?
I live by this motto. Success is a realization of a worthy idea. So if you got any type of worthy idea, it could be from setting out the smallest goal for yourself and achieving it, That could be success. There's different levels of success.
Yes.
Spiritual success, financial success, materialistic success, you know, idolized success. A lot of people want to be idolized. You know.
Yeah, I'm glad you broke that down, because that's exactly the categories where it goes in.
Yeah.
Because you might not be the wealthiest person, but spiritually your life is so rewarding, and the love that you receive, and the places that you can go, and the things that you can do, and that in itself makes you a successful person.
I've been in the rooms rubbing shoulders with people with $30,000 chains, and
because even in listening to you, I'm hearing success.
Thank you.
Whether no materialism or not, though the ability to be able to gather information and then transfer that information to someone else that they can benefit and grow from and become that's success. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. I like that, brother. I like that's some good talk right there. So we're gonna keep going down this path. What life lesson did you learn the hard way, musically or in life in general, that still sticks with you to this day?
Like I said earlier, probably school. That I didn't stick with school because the person that I want to be, that influences my inner self, needed that. So at the same time, I'm kind of living with a regret, but it's not so much a regret because it's more ambition. I use it as ambition because there's certain tools in my life and my lifestyle that I use to enter that without even having that educational level. Like, I've sold 800 DVDs at one point in my life in a 2-block radius, and they didn't teach me that in school.
No.
You know what I mean? They didn't tech me that. How to edit.
There's people out here that's trying to run businesses now that haven't sold 800 nothing.
Right. So yeah. Personally, it would be school, but musically, I always say this, and this is where I tend to pick up. Or I could say all these stories. I could tell all these stories. I could tell you about my life. I could tell you all this, but my problem was I didn't engage in enough communication with them. I didn't say, yo, I need your info, because I was self-made.
Right.
I didn't have nobody.
You didn't really have a blueprint for yourself. You didn't really know.
I was building it.
Right.
You know? So as the people that I influence, they don't know they influence me.
Right.
I'm getting compliments from dudes, yo, Snuffo, do your thing, keep doing your thing. And I'm like, oh, wow, this guy noticed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, snap. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. Matter of fact, I got something for you here. Take a DVD. You know what I mean?
Now, have you ever made music yourself? Do you have songs yourself?
Yeah, I horsed around. I played around with it, but I never really took it serious as much as trying to push it as much as I've done with my DVD. You know, I got goals for the DVD as a videographer. You know, I want to get in film festivals, and certain genres of music as being an artist is kind of harder because you got to do more investing into yourself.
Right.
As much, and it's not to where somebody's investing into you because you have a camera. You know what I mean? So their investments into their self by investing into my camera is a win-win for me.
Right.
You know.
What can you do today that you weren't capable of doing maybe in the past 5 years or 5 years ago?
I'd say start a conversation without being drunk. You know,
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, be more structured with myself and who I am and how I meet people and how I represent my brand. So I gotta step it up a lot.
I heard that.
Every day. You know.
In your opinion, what's the difference between living and existing?
Existing would be you're going through life without the realization of a worthy idea. When you're living, you're waking up motivated. You're waking up happy. You know, you're waking up with your eye on something. Something drives you. Something pushes you to be better. You want better because you want to live better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta say hi to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Sometimes you gotta smile at people.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, what makes you smile?
Nowadays,
Yeah.
that Cash App sound.
You know what? I love that Cash App sound. Cause yo, listen, somebody Cash at me right now. I'm gonna start
We
smiling.
smiling now.
Yeah.
We smiling now just talking about it.
F Kenobi.
Cash
Cash. Cash.
Yeah, but you know, nowadays, being around friends,
Mhm.
being around people with common grinds, common minds, common goals, positivity.
Mhm.
You know, I'll be 35 on Mother's Day,
Mhm. God bless.
so
If
I'm
you-
kind of grown with my business now, with my age.
Heard that. I mean, sometimes it takes that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to teach something, what would you choose to teach?
Communication.
Yes.
Communication skills. I got an example for you. A friend of mine came to me today. They said that, yo, Snuffo, you know somebody with a 501c form? I'm like, yeah, I know a few people. What do you need? Oh, I need community service. Cool. I'll line you up. Come through. We'll go play basketball at this program. Come through, and it's a part of an anti-bully program, and basically the kids there, they were like kind of shy, and so I had to say, yo, hey, come here, man, introduce yourself. What's going on, man? Give them that good energy. Like, I'm not here to frown upon them. Like, I'm not here to look down, and
Right.
I'm here to be your guys' friend right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the enthusiasm I showed them was kind of like the key grip of communication.
Right.
In this area of, you know, meeting new people, you're working with school, you're working with teachers. So this is your exercise. So look people in the eye. You know what I mean? I gave them little notes.
If the average lifespan were 40 years, how would you live your life differently?
Sheesh.
That's
I'm about to drop one of Clue's bombs on them.
Sheesh.
It might be over. Over for me.
I just dropped one of Clue's bombs on them.
Oh, man.
Good one.
I probably, when my pops was teaching me yo,
I'm already there.
It's over. It's over.
I'm 3-8. I'm 3-8.
Bumpy left the building behind that one.
Oh, man.
Bumpy's out the door.
I'm thinking about
He's
that
going
one.
to the green room behind this
Like,
one.
yo,
Like, he's got it.
oh man, I'd probably listen to my pops when he was trying to tell me about stocks.
Right.
I was about 10 years old. He was trying to tell me about it. Yo, do this. You should do one of that. You should go in the Navy. I probably would have listened to him because I know his advice would have been for that 40-year lifespan and like to prepare me better for it. I don't know. That's tricky.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know.
Oh no, I got a few more for you.
I
Bro.
don't even
We just getting started. Like I said, this is getting to the core of who your ideologies are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my audience can really understand the individual because we in some serious topics right now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take it even one step further now. What's important enough to go to war over? For you?
As far as the World War, or
Now I'm not talking about like
For me.
Well, I'm talking about for you personally. What's important enough to go to war over?
oh man, I'm a tourist.
hmm
I'm a tourist day, so
Yeah, that's we might have to come back to that.
well, I'm a father first, so
Uh-huh.
probably anything that has to do with my daughter,
hmm
her, jeopardizing her safety or anything like that.
So now that we're talking about the children, if you could install one piece of advice in a newborn baby's mind, what would that be?
pay attention. Be observant. Be observant. Because a lot of people go through life growing up not smelling the roses.
Right.
Now I know what they mean when they say you better wake up and smell the roses.
Right.
So
because in the blink of an eye, it's over.
Yeah, I would say be more observant and learn to react on impulse. Because a lot of people react on impulse and
so learn how to control your impulses.
Learn how to control your impulse.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most desirable trait that a person can possess?
Leadership, the power to influence, the power to create. There's a lot that can go with that.
What is the one thing that you would like to change about yourself and the world?
I would like to follow my own rules and follow them more.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to break my own rules, knowing I set them in place. So I would like to be more self-disciplined.
Like setting standards and maintaining those standards.
Yeah. And what was the other part?
Well, I said, what would you like to change about yourself and the world?
Oh, in the world. I would like a lot of people to be free thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Free thinkers. Don't be products of your government so much. Yeah, be thinkers. Mm-hmm. Be more thinkers in the world.
What lifts your spirits up? Like when you get down, is there a process or some type of ritual that you do to lift your spirits up?
Yeah, I listen to Earl Nightingale on YouTube. I listen to Rules to Success documentaries. Mm-hmm. Just stuff that'll have my mind thinking different from the moment.
We going deep.
Yeah.
We going deep. But go back to this, man. What's the top 5 things on your bucket list right now?
All right.
Snuffo 2022. What's still left on your bucket list to achieve? Top 5.
All right. I wanna go to a different country, and I want to help a family in a different country. Mm-hmm. Small village. Never know, that might come back. Might have a statue of me in the village. You know. One is to basically help a village get out of poverty, mm-hmm. in like a third world country or something. You know, buy my mom a house. You know, buy me a house. Make sure my daughter has everything she needs. Mm-hmm. That's the main goal on my bucket list. To do whatever I need to do so she's good. A plane. I never got on a plane.
Never?
Nah.
Wow.
And between me and you, if I would have got on a plane, if and when I get on a plane, my bucket list will probably be different.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Because there's things I want to do. I want to go along Route 66. There's certain traditional stuff that I want to do, mm-hmm. in the United States. Yeah. Then there's certain stuff I want to do in Mexico. I want to dip in the salt seas, you know?
Yep.
There's stuff I want to do. There's certain things that I'm influenced by nowadays, because remember, we only seen stuff like that in magazines.
Right.
So now you got people doing walkthroughs and they're sending the links to where, and you're like, oh man, I gotta get
do
there.
that.
I have to
do
get
that.
there.
Yeah, because they made the world smaller now, so now there's like things seem much more attainable than they once ever did. Yeah. The world seemed like it was like, I'll never get out there to do that. Now it's like you looking at Dubai like it's the Bronx.
Like it's the Bronx. You know, I can make a face call somebody in Dubai right now, like yo. But yeah, the bucket list. I never really thought about the bucket list. I did have one thing on my bucket list, mm-hmm. that I scratched off. And that was the smoke at a Snoop Dogg concert. And I've done that.
That's lit.
So
that's lit. I was at a Snoop Dogg concert, but I didn't smoke there though. But
yeah,
but I was there in Vegas. I was at a Snoop Dogg, and I had to get on the plane, sir.
I did. I did.
What was that out here?
Yeah, that was at SPAC.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I got a crazy SPAC story too.
Tell it.
I was getting drops around the time. Lil Wayne came up here.
Right, I remember that.
So, you know me, I'm a grinder.
Right.
I'm gonna get this drop. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't get to the front. I can't get nowhere.
No.
It's not going down. I've tried Twitter, everything.
Right.
Contacts, yo, who's doing security up there?
Right.
Snuffo, I'm doing security, but you won't find me. They got like 200 security guards out there. All right, cool. Oh, that's the buses over there? All right, cool. Post up outside the bus. The tour buses.
Uh-huh.
Everybody came outside the tour bus to get on the tour bus except Lil Wayne. So now SPAC is completely empty. And it's just me and my boy with the ride.
Right.
I didn't have a car at the time.
Right.
So I'm waiting for Lil Wayne to come out. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get this drop. We're going to get it. Now I was chilling with Rick Ross's show DJ. And he was like, yeah, bro, da-da-da-da. He might come out. He might not. I ain't even going to hold you. Yo, as he's saying that, I'm looking down by the stage. Lil Wayne is jumping in an all black Denali. He's out of here. So I'm like, oh man, are you kidding me? And I always wanted a Lil Wayne drop.
Right. Yeah, that's legendary. At any point in time you get that, that's legendary.
I would have had a Lil Wayne drop, and I used to have dreams about getting Lil Wayne drops. I had a dream I was outside of RPI, and he walked up and he was like, yo, you ready? And I'm like, damn, this is a dream.
And you know it when you know it in the dream too.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a dream, man. Woke up like, dang, could have had that drop.
So let's take this. Let's go a little. We're gonna stay on this vibe, man. What do you think stands between you and your ultimate happiness?
My pride. My pride kept me away from certain individuals. Probably that could have made me happy. That could have helped. That I could have helped. You know. Like I said, I was the first one to do a lot of things, so you couldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate you admitting that, because I always talk about that, like how pride always come before the fall.
Yeah.
And hubris is excessive pride.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been like, that's the downfall of man, hubris.
Yup.
Not knowing when to be humble in certain situations just because you are on top, or just because you control all the narratives.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll never forget LL was talking about in his book, because LL Cool J, like if you never read that book, LL has a great book, and also Russell Simmons has a great book.
Okay.
And LL, I think it's Rock the Bell, something like that. I can't remember the title of that book because I read it so long ago. But he talked about how like he was on top of the world. He had a #1 hit record, and he had just had this smoke gray BMW imported. So he pulls up to the spot, and I think it was like some either movie theater or something like that. He said he had the wild mink fur on and everything, the crazy. He had the bad shorty with him.
Yeah.
So they go to see the film. Yeah. They come out. Everybody's jocking him. He's all super cocky, talking and hollering at chicks. Goes to start the car, and the car won't start.
Whoa.
Bro, he had to have the car towed.
Yeah.
And he talked about like how at that point in time how much of a heathen he was, and how he was like just disrespecting people and thinking he was everything. And even that night, how he was walking around like it was all about, bro, he has put like $50,000 in cash on the Beamer. It was the first day with him with the Beamer, and it would not start. And he talked about like how I think it was like when it finally got towed to wherever it was supposed to get towed and everything, and they went, it wasn't really nothing wrong with the Beamer. It was God telling him like, no, you're gonna be humble today.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah.
And he talked about like that was like a wake up moment for him, about his pride and about just being over cocky and not just being humble and just being respectful to people, because he was crapping on people. He was treating people like there wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was like so hubris is a real thing, man. And if it's anything that be humble, man. Be humble and be graceful. And be appreciative of the position that you're in, and allow people to enjoy you without you. Sometimes you don't leave space for anybody to appreciate you because you're too busy tooting your own horn.
Exactly.
Or too busy, too full of yourself. You don't even allow somebody to be humble. Too busy talking. You're not even allowing this person to even give you the respect that you And so yeah, man, I appreciate you saying that. How would you deal with someone who's in a position of power that you believe wants you to fail? How would you deal with that person?
I'd probably dig down deeper and grind harder. Like I said, I'm a Taurus, so I like competition.
Right.
So the biggest competition is myself. So if I know you're out for blood because of what I'm capable of, I'm just gonna go harder.
Heard it.
I'm just gonna go
I
harder.
believe in the same way. Like nothing grinds me more than my competitive spirit.
I call that drown them.
Yeah.
Drown them in a flood.
Yeah.
They'll drown in a flood. Just work around them. They don't want to be a part of it. They'll notice it.
Drown them in the
They'll
flood.
notice.
Drown them in the flood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you 2 more questions that I got for you, and then I'm gonna go into a segment called This or That.
Okay.
That I do with everybody.
Okay.
What does freedom mean to you in your own words?
You and these questions, man. You and these questions.
No, but you're doing real good, brother.
Okay.
Like you answering them, like a lot of thought. Because some people will be stuck. Like I'm giving brain aneurysms behind some of these questions.
Yeah.
Like people just got strokes and like.
Well, I'm a talkative person.
Right.
So.
No, but it's not even so much you're talking. It's that you're actually reflecting.
Right.
And then you're thinking for that moment, and you coming back with really conscious, very insightful commentary, bro. I appreciate it.
So freedom for me basically is, for me myself, is to wake up with and be able to chase my goal, you know, without any restrictions. Of like a lot of people can't do what we do.
Right.
So to be elite in certain areas, that's a lot of freedom.
Yes.
Being able to come on a broadcast from my platform, that's a lot of freedom. So a lot of things come with freedom with me.
Absolutely.
You know?
If you could ask only one person, dead or alive, only one question, who would you ask and what would you ask? Hit you with the DMX. That's one of my moments.
Nah, because I'm trying to think. Do I want to say a historical figure, or there's no limits to certain.
Dead or alive. Who would it be, and what would the question be? If you could ask only one question, who would you ask, and what would you ask them?
I would probably ask Malcolm X. I would probably ask Malcolm X a question, and that question would probably be, was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Brother, that's a powerful person and question.
Yeah.
Because we know how his life ended. It ended in a hail of bullets while he was trying to save his people.
Yeah, he's a Taurus too. Yeah, he's definitely a Taurus.
Powerful, brother.
Yeah.
Powerful, brother. We not done, but I got applaud.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I had to.